All right, here's another one. When are you guys releasing your draft? Hey, Dave, what's your team looking like? Rich, when are you releasing your draft? What's going on, guys? Where's the drafts? David, you don't deserve to be on the surgery podcast. I think that your acne is. I'm not. I'm.
Welcome, FPL Surgery viewers. My name is Rich, and welcome to the FPL Surgery YouTube channel. And as always, I'm joined by Dave. Hi there, Dave. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
What's with the mask?
I'm taking off. I can't be bothered doing the bit anymore. Just steam up my glass. I can't actually read what we're doing. Hello, everyone. We're doing my draft. The reason why we're doing my draft first is because Rich doesn't have his ready yet. So we'll do his next week. But this week, we're going to be looking at mine. Rich, are you excited to see what perfection is?
I'm looking forward to seeing it and how similar it is to mine. I'm sure we can tear it apart. But, I mean, I'm assuming this isn't your final draft unless you're really convinced and don't want to let yourself down by changing it.
Nah, it's going to change by the time we finish this episode. But no, this is going to be called, I'm probably going to call it something like first draft or initial draft or something. And then maybe we could get a few videos out of it, and get those views up. Speaking of views, if you haven't already, it would be great if you just subscribed. That'd be lovely. It'd be lovely. There's a wee graphic and everything. It'd be lovely if you did subscribe. And then on top of that, you get more videos and you can find out. It's so good. I've heard it's the thing. It's the thing these days. Anyway, back to you, Rich.
I mean, we've got more than I thought we would, to be fair, at this stage. But I guess we've got to aim higher.
I'm aiming for at least 1 million.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, let's see. So I'm actually looking forward to this because you popped your team on the screen earlier, and I had to close my eyes because I didn't want to see it.
Yeah. You're like a 5-year-old actually closing your eyes. He actually did close his eyes.
I didn't want to see it.
No, I mean, I get it. I totally get it.
And it wasn't just the team.
I'm wondering if I should. Oh yeah, no, I bet it was all the you. It was you that sent that message in. All right. So, what do you think? First off, before we get into it, I'm aware of how boring this team is. However, I was sitting down with my wildcard team, which is I was wildcarding game week 3 or 4, and I was dead set on it, really. And then we talked to Andy yesterday when we were recording for 8 Simple Rules, and he said that he just kind of goes lackadaisical with it, and if he needs to do it, he'll do it. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I'll see if I can set up a team that might last a little bit longer than 4 weeks, just in case I decide to not do it when the time comes.
So what kind of time frame did you look at for this team?
5 game weeks. One more. One more. We were also doing our first podcast with Irons, who gave us the lowdown on David Bowen, and so he's been in my team since then.
I quite like it. I guess one thing I'd ask is, so you got Mings and Fofana. Is that kind of, because Mings is 5 million, isn't he? So is that some kind of?
Yes, Mings is 5 million.
Rotate them.
Well, I don't actually know. So, okay, this is exactly what happened. I had a look at this team, and I was like, every single player is away except for the Everton guys.
Yeah, I've had a couple of drafts like that. There's a lot of longer term picks that seem to have home that seem to start with an away game.
Yeah, so that's why I did
obviously
that.
Fans are going to be back as well, aren't they? But the thing is, if you've got Mings, obviously 5 million is quite a lot, and you're only going to play him for the first 3 games.
Yeah.
So I'd want to play him. Otherwise, I'd downgrade him.
Yeah. Well,
that would be my first thought.
That's a good point. I also have in the bank, like, available 0 money in the bank, but what I've got in the mind bank is if I need to, I can downgrade Calvert-Lewin for Tony and upgrade Buendia for Grealish, or Bowen for Grealish if he goes to Man City. So I've got enough to do that, which is why Calvert-Lewin's in there in the first place. Like,
Does it not scare you going without Tony?
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Even with his ownership?
Mate, if he scores 1 goal, everyone's going to be like, oh, he's the next Messiah. If he scores 5 goals, then, you know, you can't get much higher than Messiah. But at the same time, like, I could just transfer him in very easily.
I mean, his price will start to rise quickly if he scored early on.
That's true, but I don't really mind price rises. A lot of people are scared of them, but I'm gonna make back. I usually come out with this end of the season with a lot of money, so I've never ever been worried about it, because the way that I play the game is I aggressively transfer players in, hoping that they're going to do well, as opposed to like backpedaling, especially with the wild card thing. So that means that, like, eventually I do have quite a bit of money saved up. So I'm not too bothered about that. What I really like about this team is that I can downgrade to the players that everyone is worried about. So like, Dean can go to Shaw if I need to, or he can go to any of the 5s if I miss out. Calvert-Lewin can go down to any sub 8 million striker like Tony. If I really want to, I can upgrade Calvert-Lewin to Kane, and he's not that far away if I downgraded Bruno if I had to. And at the same time, downgrading Calvert-Lewin, like I said, I can take one of my 6.5 midfielders up to like a Grealish or a Mahrez or whatever, with a little bit more playing about. So I'm not too far away from everyone. I do take your point with the Mings thing. You know why Mings is in there? It's because I don't know who's playing left and right back. Like, they played Ashley Young, who I didn't even realize they had when I was looking up their preseason fixture lineups. They played Ashley Young, and they didn't play Target on the left side, and I don't know why that is.
I mean, I think it will be Target and Cash, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I think Target played basically almost every minute last season. Obviously, Matty Cash, he's a very good player, so I think he'll play as well. Because I guess with the defenders, you could, instead of going for Mings, you could, you know, put it on a 4.5, and then you can, instead of having Manquillo, you can have a 4 point. So you could have 2 4.5 defenders on the bench. That looks like the Fantasy Football Hub comparison tool. So obviously, as always, the link's in the description. The offers can change, but at the moment, that link will get you 25% off. Highly recommended, because you could customize all this just like Dave's doing now, really.
Yeah.
I think do the season.
What, the whole season?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Okay.
It's going to be very small on people's screens, but over the season it looks quite similar.
Yeah, chances created 39, crosses 146 for Target, and then crosses is 81, chances 21 for Cash. So it seems like they favour their left side for attacking fullback.
Yeah, and you've got Konsa. I mean, he's got attacking threat as well. I had him at the end of last season. I just think if you're going to pay 5 million for a Villa defender, you've got to play them in the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Because you're not probably going to want them much after that.
Everyone's away. What do you mean he's got the goal? Oh, he's got 0.1 XG in the whole season, which is 0.09 more than Target, to be fair.
Who's that, sorry?
This is Konza.
Oh, for Konsa, yeah.
Yeah, I just chucked him in there.
What about shots? I mean, how many shots on target did Konsa have?
22 shots, 7 on target.
Okay, and what about target?
Yeah, 22 shots, 7 on target.
Oh, and what was Konsa then?
That was Konza. Sorry, the other guy has hardly any. 6 shots, 2 in the box, 2 on target.
Okay, so yeah, so if you're going to get a 6-point goal, plus you might get bonus, Konsa's much more likely to get you that than target. But I mean, they're all 5 million. It's just a case of if you need them in your team. I'd have thought.
Well, okay, let's go back to the team then. So,
because if you've got him benched,
it wasn't. He's benched because he's away. Like, it's.
Yeah,
I don't really mind that though, because I could use him for the first. No one's gonna have them, right?
Yeah. So you'd have him for game week 2 and 3, or whichever Villa defender you get. I mean, I think Mings might be the worst one. The more I think about it.
Oh, I just put him in because I knew he played. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm not very
the
on
team,
the
then.
defender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, wrong thing. So yeah, I can change him, but I don't really need that 0.5 million anywhere. Like, I don't want a 7 million midfielder. I think that Buendia is going to do really well for the first 3 games. Bowen is going to be a good long-term differential, I think, like 10 game weeks plus.
Yeah.
I've got Salah and Fernandes like everyone else. My back is pretty much the same as everyone else. And I've got the Watkins-Antonio double up. The only one that's kind of iffy there for at least the Twitter template is Calvert-Lewin. And to be honest, he's quite high percentage owned as well. Like I think he's 3rd or something for strikers. So this is a very like safe team. And the only real differential I have is this last defender.
You say it's safe. And sorry to pick up negative things, but I do think it's a good team. But obviously,
No,
I'm
I
going
like
to pick holes in it. You say it's safe, but then you don't have Tony. That surprised me. But obviously, you've justified that. Another thing I'd say, you said this is a team if you're not going to wild card. So then you've made that mistake. Oh, it might not be a mistake. But we obviously talked about it on the pod with Luke, didn't we? About if you've got 3 Villa players, you're then probably going to have to transfer them out gradually after game week 3, and you've got 3 of them.
Yeah.
And you're not even going to play one in game week 1, possibly.
Yeah. All right. Let's change Mings then. Okay. I agree. Okay. Let's change Mings.
There's Dunk.
Oh, Kufal. Oh, but then I've got 3 West Hams. That's fine though, right?
Yeah. Or you could go Dunk, but you got Sanchez, so
their fixtures are pretty good for ages.
Yeah, Sufal's stats did look good, didn't they, when we compared him to?
Yeah, let's stick him in. I don't mind that. Okay, so 3.
That's good. I mean, the other option is you could downgrade, Sufal or Mings to a 4.5, and then you can upgrade Manquillo to a 4.5.
Nah, I'm absolutely certain that I don't need 3 bench players. Like, I get it, COVID's happening, and last season I did need 2 bench players.
Yeah, I can get that.
But before that season, I have never had to bring in, maybe like once I've had to bring in my second defender or my second benched fodder. And I wasn't even that bothered. Like it was everyone lost whoever it was. So it wasn't that big a deal. Whereas this time, like I've given you 2 benched players. Gilmore will play.
Yeah. But I think there's so many good 4.5s. They could be a better option than Gilmore. But like you say, you probably don't need that many subs.
I just don't need that. Like I think Gilmore's going to play, so he's going to get me the 2 points.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have a headache trying to pick between Fofana and whoever Manquillo turns into. If I do need to play, if I change from a 3-4-3 to like, I don't know, say Buendia gets injured and I don't want to take him out or something, I need to change to a 4-3-3. I don't want to have to be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to pick Fofana and then Manquillo. It's the same reason why I don't do the double goalkeeper thing. Like I know the spots in my team which are going to be fodder. It's going to be Fofana is going to be my first sub most of the time, and then it's going to be Gilmore as the second sub, and then the third sub I don't even need. So let's make these transfers. Let's have a look.
You're going to be so annoyed if Ming scores game week 1.
I actually won't because he would have been on my bench. No, but see, this is the thing. Like, are we bothered that they're all away?
It just seems to be a problem. I mean, I had this, I think, a couple of drafts I've done. I've realised after I've done the draft and I'm happy with it, I realised 9 players are away from home, but the fans are going to be back.
Yeah.
So it could have an impact. But then game week 2, you're going to have I'm assuming most of them will be at home.
Well, to be fair, let's look at it this way, okay? Spurs versus Man City, I don't want any Spurs in their home. Then Newcastle versus West Ham, I don't want any Newcastle because West Ham have got great fixtures and I've got all 3 of them, and why would I play any Newcastle players? Maybe Wilson you could make an argument for, but as we've heard from a big tweet that happened today, he is actually not being overlooked.
I saw that, yeah.
Norwich against Liverpool, no. Watford against Aston Villa, no. Leicester against Wolves. Leicester have great players with decent prices, but they don't have the good fixtures. They have very poor fixtures. We could actually look at the ticker to show you how poor their fixtures are. Everton, I've got 2 of them. Chelsea, not until game week 7. Burnley, I feel like they're going to be whipping boys. They've done very poorly last season. For the first time in a while, they weren't even good defensively. I think I had Lowton when he scored that goal last season.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. And then brought him in that day too. Yeah. But
you were being tight because he was the cheapest one, wasn't he?
Well, I wasn't even being tight. Like I only had that much money. Like if I had more, no, I actually, you know what? I did have enough money, and I chose him anyway because he was a left back or right back. He's right back, and anyway, that fell down. Manchester United. I've got one of them.
There we go.
Yeah, I've got one Manchester United player. I don't really want two. I could maybe do Dean to Shaw, but then they're both home. And then Brentford against Arsenal, and I've not got Tony, and everyone else has just Tony and no one else. I haven't seen any other Brentford players. So really, all the home teams are rubbish.
Looking at that, and I'm just thinking, like, if I was free hitting game week 1, the team you haven't covered, and it's a team I've not covered either, is Chelsea. Because obviously you look past game week 1, and they've got pretty tricky fixtures.
Yeah.
But that home game against Palace,
Chelsea,
that could be nice.
So we've got 6 here. We'll do it for attack.
You zoom in a bit.
I can't for you, mate. It's gonna look.
No, don't
okay,
worry.
hold on. There we go. I can.
There we go.
Right. So, where were they? So, Leicester are okay, but I've got lots of West Ham anyway, so that's not going to be the best.
And look at Chelsea right at the bottom.
Chelsea at the bottom.
But then,
Arsenal
I mean,
Liverpool.
Palace then Arsenal isn't actually, I don't think it's that bad. It's just that Liverpool game. And then they got Villa, and that's at home.
Yeah.
Maybe having a Chelsea player wouldn't be the end of the world.
Let's see, who could you get? I mean, I do
That's
have
the
Billy
thing, isn't it?
Gilmore.
There's a lot of rotation because, I mean, Havertz, I've seen him in quite a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, you haven't got an obvious candidate to replace him unless you downgraded somewhere else. Like, if you were happy to drop Calvert-Lewin or Dean down a little bit. But then, like you said, you've got Everton and they've got a good opening fixture against Southampton. So,
yeah. I'm just having a look at, like, Ziyech kind of made a wee bit of an appearance in people's teams last season.
That won't happen this season.
Havertz 8.5. You know, I could do that thing that I told you I was going to do. So I know that you just said it, but like it would mean what? Okay, here it is. Tony and Bowen, or Calvert-Lewin. No, Calvert-Lewin and Bowen, or Tony and Havertz.
I'd go Tony and Havertz.
Really?
Because you've got Antonio and Soufal anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I would need to downgrade Soufal, I think.
0.5 short, but that's where if you downgrade.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to say Soufal, don't you?
Yeah. You know what? If I'm downgrading Soufal, then I'd rather.
Well, you could downgrade Dean. No, because then you've removed both your Everton.
To be fair, I'm not really that big of a fan of Everton. I think Dean's going to be great, though. Do you remember when Rafa Benitez was playing Matt Ritchie at left back?
Mm-hmm.
And he was dynamite. Like, he was really good for that season. And then Rafa left, and then Matt Ritchie has never been seen again. I feel like he's going to do that with Dean. So
yeah, I mean, Dean did end FPL points wise anyway. He did end the season quite strongly. Obviously, they're pretty good fixtures at the end of the season, though, Everton. So that might have contributed to it slightly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd rather have Tony than Calvert-Lewin because I mean, obviously Tony's on penalties as well.
Is he?
He is.
Oh yeah, he scored lots of.
I mean, I think that's why Tony's such good value, and especially at that ownership. That's why I'm surprised because you play quite safe, but I don't think going without Tony is safe.
You know what? And also think about this. Speaking of penalties, now that Siggy is otherwise engaged, Dean might take. Don't you shake your head? I didn't even mention. And speaking of penalties, now that Sigurdsson's otherwise engaged, right? Dean might be taking penalties. You never know. It's probably Rodriguez, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is why like so much stuff's going to change over the coming weeks as we get more and more news and stuff about injuries and signings. For all the teams as well.
You know what I could do? Blasphemy, I know.
Not taking Trent. You won't take Trent out. Behave.
Blasphemy.
It's not like I think you're getting to the stage now. I mentioned obviously Chelsea, and now you're taking all these players out you liked 10 minutes ago.
No, I'm just having a look. Would you rather Robertson, Havertz, and Tony, or Trent, Bowen, and Calvert-Lewin?
I would have just downgraded Soufal.
Impossible.
Why is it impossible? I'd have just downgraded him to Ben White.
I'm not getting.
I'd rather have Trent than Robertson. I don't think that's the sacrifice to make personally.
Fine.
But I don't want us to end up with the same teams either. So
no, right. But now I don't have a lot of.
This is why drafting's addictive. You get
West
one
Ham.
little idea in your head, and suddenly
Now I
you
don't have a
change
lot of
half
West
your
Ham.
team.
Does West Ham have any 4.5s?
That
would be so sad, actually, if I didn't go with Kufal. Is there anywhere else I can get? You know what I could do?
What's that?
Let's just drop Fofana. I don't even want him. Let's just get rid of him.
I mean, he was just an enabler anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, let's get 2 enablers. Who's our favorite enabler?
At what price point?
4 million.
You've already got one.
I know.
4
Let's
million
get 2.
enabler.
Let's get 2 and then wrap the video up.
You go for that Norwich guy with the very long name. I've never tried to pronounce it. I've only tweeted it.
I'm with you. Immobile.
I think you've made it worse.
Immobile. Perfect. Make transfers. Sorted.
We've actually made your team worse.
I don't think so. On paper, it's not as bad.
There's bits I like a lot more, but your bench.
Well,
I mean, Billy Gilmore is your shining light if anyone doesn't play.
Exactly. And to be fair, that's exactly what he was for Scotland.
Looking at your first 11, it's strong.
It's a good first 11.
Strong.
But that's how much like rubbish we have to do. That's how much tinkering and that's how much surgery we need to do to surgery. That's how much we have to do to the team to get Havertz in. And we could have Grealish.
I still think there was other things you could have done. Or there were, well, to be fair, you could do what you want. It's your team. There's things I'd have done slightly differently. I still haven't got Havertz in my team, but when you look at those game week 1 fixtures, that Chelsea game just jump out at you.
Yeah.
Well, it jumped out at me when you were scrolling through just now.
100%. And now we've got 4 home people and 7 away. I don't think I need to take. To be fair, we're putting a lot of stock into the home away thing.
Too much because, like we said, when it gets to game week 2,
yeah,
it's going to switch, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Aye, that's true. Game week 2 is going to be a belter. Although I did notice that game week 2, West Ham are playing Leicester, so I probably would need to take Sufal out for.
You can't put a midfield. This is the thing.
Know. There you go.
If you do this and don't downgrade Sufal, you're going to have to play him every week. Which I mean, it's not the end of the world.
You're right. Havertz sucks.
Your 3 defenders are all attacking players.
Yeah, I just don't want to have to sacrifice the Sufal down. I want 3 good defenders.
But there's lots of good 4.5s, and I guess now the problem you've got is you haven't got any of these good 4.5s. Like
I say good. They're not good. They're just. I
think they're better than we normally get at 4.5.
Yeah,
or they look like they're going to be better than we normally get.
I'll take that. Okay. Do I actually want Fofana? We've just been talking up the fact that they've got bad fixtures. Is he a fullback? He's not, is he?
Fofana's a centre back, and there's some risk that he might not play.
Yeah, I'll just put Ayling in. There we go.
But then Soyuncu's really, really, really bad, so I'd be surprised if Fofana doesn't play. But
Soyuncu is the fastest man in the Premier League.
No, he's not.
He beat he thingied the record. Sure.
Bloody hell.
I'm sure that was true. Let us know in the comments if that's true. I'm pretty sure it is.
One of my favourite moments of Soyuncu was that game against Tottenham at the end of last season because I had Gareth Bale and he basically let Bale have a brace. And it's worth watching those highlights just to laugh at Soyuncu. He was so bad.
That's how he should.
And then obviously he was playing for Turkey, who were the worst team at the Euros.
Yeah. They weren't as bad as Scotland, but they were pretty bad.
You just put Grealish. I think we're getting to the point we should end this video. I mean, you had a good draft. I just think there were a couple of little
This is if he goes to City. This is only 2 points different to my other team. I would take out Tony, put Calvert-Lewin in, take out Grealish, and put Bowen in. This is what I said at the top of the episode, right? So yeah, this is pretty much the team. Maybe these 2 guys change.
Obviously, Grealish is going to City. It looks like based on today's tweets anyway.
Yeah, that's why I've been thinking about it because I don't think they'll spend the most money ever in the Premier League and then they'll like, oh yeah, but we're benching you, mate.
But will he play game week 1? I guess he didn't play that much at the Euros.
Yeah,
but
he hardly played. He didn't play the final.
It's Pep though. It's Pep.
Yeah, I'll pep you. Right, thank you very much everyone for watching. Remember, fancy graphic. You can join our mini league 4U2 742. There's loads of people in it now, actually. I'm getting kind of worried.
We're getting worried that you won't win it.
Yeah, I really want to win. Imagine your first season co-hosting the podcast and then you win. That's the life.
Based on one of those drafts, you probably won't.
He's at Draft of Dreams, mate. Please subscribe to us. We're going to be doing Rich's draft next week, and then we'll probably do an updated draft for me, where none of these players will be in the exact opposite of it. So it'll be good. This was supposed to be 10 minutes long. We'll speak to you next time. Bye bye.
Up the pod.
Up the draft.